Hi everybody. First off, I want to say I'm so sorry. I have been making videos on my phone and uploading them from my phone. I was under the impression that they were all uploading. Don't get very many comments ever, so I kind of figured I just wasn't getting comments. And then I actually went on to YouTube on my laptop a couple weeks ago and found out that none of those videos had uploaded. I am so sorry. I said that I was going to be coming back and making things more regularly, and then I disappeared again. I apologize. That was not my intention. I thought I have been uploading videos this whole time, and apparently I haven't. I'm here to do a mom vlog, a review of something for school. So a little background story. By the way, I'm a little bit sick. I have got like a stomach bug, so if I just look kind of off, that's why. Sidetracked. Okay, so a little bit of background. My kids are turning 6 in October. They went into kindergarten this year. Last year, they were in something called transitional kindergarten, which is a norm now in California. I had done a bunch of research last year to figure out what we were going to do about school lunches because I pack lunch. And I didn't want them having plastic. I wanted their lunch tins to be really high quality. So I ended up deciding to go with the Lunchbox brand. The single compartment tin fit a sandwich and like carrot sticks on the side. Or if you had like really wide bread, it would even fit those sandwiches. The problem with these is that the pieces come apart. So we had 3 tins for each kid. One like this where it had the long compartment and 2 small compartments. One like this where it was just one big compartment, and then one that had a split down the middle. So it was 2, I don't know what to call that, medium, big size compartments. Through the year, our kids successfully lost, so how many do we have? 6? 5 tin lids. They also successfully lost 4 tins. So this is what we have left. We have 2 tins and 1 lid left. I wasn't going to replace all that stainless steel because the lunchbox were expensive. There started the mad research for the perfect lunchbox, which, by the way, doesn't exist yet. So we looked at sending them to school with plastic baggies, but I really don't want to send them to school with plastic baggies for many reasons. One is all the food is touching plastic all the time. 2 is that anytime the food jams together, or they throw their lunch pail, or they sit down on their lunch pail, or what have you, all of their stuff gets smashed. If they have smashed grapes, they don't really like to eat smashed grapes. If their sandwich gets mushy and gross, they don't really like to eat that. Then I get home with the kids and hear a bunch of tears and whining because their sandwich was mushed. I looked at separate containers like the Snapware style. But again, that would be this whole issue that we just had this past year where, again, they'd be missing lids and they'll be missing the bottoms. And then at the end of the year, we'll be replacing everything again. So I wasn't really sold on separate containers if we could help it. That's when I started looking at bento boxes. I was never huge on bento boxes. I thought it was kind of a weird fad thing going on, but the more I looked into it, the more it made sense for kid lunches for me. So we looked at the Yum Box, the Planet Box, the Bento Box. We looked at a bunch of bento boxes, and none of them were great. The Ziploc ones are not sold anymore as far as I remember. Also plastic, and I'm not so sold on Ziploc being super safe right now. I know they say they're BPA, phthalate free and all of that, but I don't know. I just kind of still get a sketchy feeling from Ziploc. So we were trying to stay away from the plastics. And the only one that's fully stainless steel is the Planet Box, which is fully stainless steel, and it looks amazing. But one of the big things that deterred us from getting it, besides the cost, which I think is $60, the compartments are not leak-proof. So that was a bummer. I was not finding any other ones that really had stainless steel. Due to size, compartment configuration, etc., we were down to the Yum Box versus the Bento Kids. And to be honest, I agonized for like 2 days which one to get. And we ended up getting the Bent Go Kids. And of course, the day after I bought the Bent Go Kids, something popped up in my newsfeed by ThinkSport called the Go2. And it had 3 compartments. It had a stainless steel bottom, BPA phthalate free, supposedly leak proof from compartment to compartment. And it came with a fork and spoon. And I went, why couldn't this have popped up in my newsfeed 2 days ago? Because this would have been perfect. So I bought it too, thinking that whichever ones we didn't like, we would just send back. Those came in the mail, and I will tell you right now, they are huge. Now, the Bent Go Kids is pretty big, but it'll grow with my kid, whereas this thing is giant. So this is actually probably an inch or an inch and a half longer. It is wider, and it is taller than the Bent Go Kids. But we ended up getting A-Lands and lunchbox to carry the Bent Go boxes for the kids, and this just barely fits. I mean, just barely fits. So let's talk about the pros of this. For one, it's a bento box. It has compartments. That's amazing. It is really easy for kids to open. It's Snapware style. Awesome. The bottom part of the tin is stainless steel. Everything else is BPA phthalate free. We did test out from compartment to compartment. As long as the silicone seal is on properly, everything is leak proof from compartment to compartment, which is great. The back does have these 2 tiny silicone rubberized pads, so it's a little bit skid proof. I would not call it skid proof, but it does help from things from sliding on their own, I guess. And it does come with a fork and a spoon. Now let's talk about the drawbacks. The drawbacks: 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece, 4 piece, 5 piece, and again, I'll get to this and why I call it its own piece, and 6 piece. When I first opened this container, it had been in a box for a few days, and the first thing I noticed was as soon as I opened the box, the chemical plasticky smell was intense. I mean, we opened the door because it was so intense from a lunchbox. Then I started looking at it, and I opened it up, noticed it was super easy, so excited, and what happened was that the whole thing came apart like this. And I thought, bless you. I thought, well, that's really annoying. And if it happens a lot, that's not going to work out because my kids are not going to remember this piece, which is what it connects to. It doesn't hook to this bottom tin. So then I had to peel this part apart, which, again, will not work for my 6-year-old because as soon as they're having to peel something apart like this, the food's going to go everywhere. As soon as I peeled it apart, this anti-leak silicone piece came out halfway on this side and about halfway on this side. Again, not going to work out because my kids aren't going to end up sitting there and calmly and patiently putting their lunchbox back together before they put the lid on every time. They also have to remember which way it goes because of the way the tin is, and there is a silicone piece. They have to put it on properly, otherwise either things will leak or it just doesn't match up. So that was kind of a problem. Not a big one, but kind of a problem for us. Now I thought, well, if it doesn't happen all the time, that won't be a problem. Maybe it was just because it was sitting in a box for so long. And then I kept it locked up overnight and opened it again, and it happened again. And then I made my own lunch in it and opened it after 2 hours, and it did it again. So it was doing it essentially every time it had more than about an hour to sit and be sealed. I started counting the pieces, and there were just too many pieces to lose. The fork and the spoon are definitely going to get lost. The lid would probably fairly easily be forgotten. The bottom tin, as soon as it was pulled off, would probably be forgotten, thus making this completely unusable. So beyond all of that, the thing is huge. It holds enough food for me, even sometimes a bit too much food for me. So it's definitely something that's too big for them food-wise, and I don't like how the compartments are configured. I feel like with that much space, you should be able to do more than just basically a simple school style lunch tray of 3 compartments. I will say that if you cut a sandwich in half by a triangle, a sandwich will stack 2 pieces and fit properly there. But otherwise, there's really no big redeeming quality factor for me. It still kind of stinks. The stainless steel feels very cheap and thin. It doesn't even feel like, these are really thin, but it doesn't feel even as heavy duty as this. I feel like that could probably pretty easily get bent if it was, I don't know, say in the hands of a 5-year-old who threw their lunchbox. So for those reasons, this is just unusable for us. It's going back. We are returning the ThinkSport Go2s. I'm just really disappointed in them. They will not work for us. Too many pieces. Feels like it's pretty cheaply made. The silicone seal does not stay in place. The stainless steel bottom comes up. Things are going to get lost. So that's my final thought on this product. I hope this helped any of you guys. Like I said, I spent a ton of time. I will also review the Bent-Go Kids, which we are loving. But I will do a separate review of that later on. If you guys have any questions or need any product reviews that I might be able to do, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.